Yo, what's up, guys? Garrett here, aka Mr. Good Touch. Today, we're going to bring you the part 3 series of that How to DPS Effectively in ESO. We're here with our trusted buddy again, Ninglinel, and I'm going to go over this pretty quick. The way you get to this test dummy is by completing a quest done right here in Elden Root Temple Way Shrine. The quest is literally one step away from the Way Shrine. It's a woman. You have to find her dog. It takes 2 seconds, and then you gain access to our buddy Ninglinel. He is in Ribbonspire, and his location is right here next to the Atronach Way Shrine. And he does not generate bounty, he does not draw aggro from guards, and he does not die. This is a free DPS test, free test dummy. Thank God it was discovered. But quickly, let's go into what we're talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about how to go about building your characters. For me personally, in my own opinion, right now the best way to build a DPS character, stamina or magicka in the game, is focusing on crit chance and effectively in a PvE raid your crit damage. Now, for your standard magic setup, I'm going to give you a tier list of 3 sets you can use for your magic builds. For Magic DK, Magic Templar, and Magic Sorc, your tier list goes as follows. Julianos on the 5 on the body, okay? Now we're just going to talk about these 5 body parts real quick. So this is going to be our tier list. Number 1, Julianos. Number 2 would be a 5 set of Twiceborn Star. And number 3 would be Scathing Mage, which is found in Veteran ICP. And that's Imperial City Prisons. I'll go ahead and show you it on the map if you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's this dungeon right here. Not difficult to complete if you know what you're doing in this game, but if you are new, it is going to be a tough dungeon, so maybe try and just craft yourself some Julianos. Now, the reason our tier list works like this is because for these 3 classes I named, Magic DK, Magic Sorc, and Magic Templar, this is the easiest and simplest way to set up, and it's the most effective, Julianos. Now the second one's going to be Twiceborn Star, and what the 5-piece on Twiceborn Star is, it allows you to have 2 Mundus Stones. So you would be running the Thief, and the second Mundus you want to run with Twiceborn Star is the Shadow. Thief being critical strike chance, and Shadow being critical strike damage. This effectively can be very good. I like it mainly in 12-man trials for these 3 characters. It might even outperform Julianos in a 12-man trial if you're running enough Warhorns. But if this is your first set, your first character, and you're one of those 3 classes, go ahead and craft yourself some Julianos. It's really hard to beat. The third one we're going to talk about is Scathing Mage. If you have at least 4 pieces of Scathing Mage Divines and 1 undesirable trait, go ahead and run it. If you have 5 Divines, run it and test it. Come to this guy right here, see if it procs on anything. If you can get it to proc on any one of your dot over time effects, it's not supposed to, but if you can, it will certainly outperform Julianos and Twiceborn Star. Now, I left out one magic build for this specifically, and that is Magic Nightblade. The tier list for Magic Nightblade goes as follows. Number 1, Scathing Mage. The reason Scathing Mage is number 1 for this character class specifically, is it can proc off Twisting Path, or I assume Refreshing Path as well. That's an assumption, but I know for a fact it can proc off Twisting Path. That's why it's number 1, which means you can keep almost 100% uptime, which makes that 498 increased spell damage absolutely amazing. Now, number 2, if you don't have Scathing Mage, go with Twiceborn Star on a Magic Nightblade. As a Nightblade, you benefit much more from having extra crit damage than any other class, just from being a Nightblade, because you have passives that increase your crit damage as well as increasing your critical strike chance. So you're going to benefit from this set by yourself in a one-on-one situation, a 4 dungeon, and a veteran trial. And the last one for Magic Nightblade is going to be Julianos. Julianos is still a great choice. I actually run Julianos on my Magic Nightblade, and I pull okay numbers, but I definitely would be pulling more if I was properly optimized with either Twiceborn Star or Scathing Mage. So we're going to stick with the magic trend right now. For single target, for Magic DK, Magic Nightblade, and not Magic Templar. So Magic DK, Magic Sorc, and Magic Nightblade. Moakina 2-piece is absolutely in single target unbeatable. It's hard to sustain, but there's ways to get around it. So this right here is unbeatable for a completely single target situation on Magic DK, Magic Nightblade, and Magic Sorcerer. So, if you don't know, Kina can be procced by simply light weaving. That's all you have to do, keep printing rock. See how my body turns into lightning? So what does Kina proc do? Let's read it. It's going to increase all the cost of your abilities by 33%, which is tough to sustain. But like I said, you can get around it, and I'm going to show you in a second. And it increases your spell and weapon damage by 516 when it's golded and V16. That is so much extra damage, guys. It is insane. So the way we get around this for Sork and Magic DK, this is how you get around this. This little ability right here. Ooh, what is that? That is the best sustain skill in the game. That is Elemental Drain. It's instant, it's free, and it reduces magic and spell, or it reduces spell resistance. So this is really good for Maelstrom if you're having trouble sustaining on a Magic Sork or a Magic DK. This is a really easy thing to pop on your bar. Guess what? No more mana problems. Okay, so whenever you apply it, it's going to flame, shock, or frost damage. It gives you 500 or 458 magic back. But it can't be from a damage over time effect. So, engulfing flames, not going to give you magic back from the dot. Burning embers, it is going to give you magic back for the upfront damage, but not the tick. Blockade of elements, once again, no magic back. But things like Flames of Oblivion and Whip that have upfront damage, that is going to give you magic back. So that is a good thing to know. Okay, what else are we going to talk about today? So let's go into the jewelry for magic characters. I think until more testing goes down for sets like Moondancer and Alkosh, which on the 3-piece are going to give you Minor Slayer, which is 5% increased damage to boss enemies, this willpower and agility is absolutely unbeatable until more tests go on with that. I'm starting to think more and more that the 5% is going to be worth so much in a single target fight. So if you want to test that out on your own, go right ahead. But if you don't have access to this jewelry, or you really don't want to farm it in normal Mile of Lorcage, go ahead and get yourself some of this willpower jewelry. Okay, so I really suggest getting your max stat on here. As you can see, I run around without food with 10k health, and when I have food on, I have around a little over 16,500 health. This is easily doable in any content in the game, even stuff like Better Maelstrom. If you're good enough at it, you can get away with this much health, especially on something like a Magic Sork or a Magic Nightblade, where one, you're going to have a lot of healing, and two, you're going to have wards that can protect yourself. I also suggest if you run this jewelry, you run all spell damage, because even if you're not going to benefit from Elemental Drain, your healer can pop this on his bar. It's called Force Siphon, and you need to morph it to Siphon Spirit. When you have Siphon Spirit up, it's going to give you magic back for every magic damage you do. It's just like the Elemental Drain, except it's going to be for your Magic Nightblade. The one class I will say that you cannot run Kina on because it's just simply too hard to sustain is going to be Magic Templar. Unfortunately, Jabs is counted by a dot, is counted as a dot, so things like Force Siphon and Elemental Drain are not going to give you magic back at all. And really, there's nothing in a Templar's kit that counts as damage up front. It all gets counted as either a channel or a dot. So these things are just simply not doable for your Templar. Now you can, if you find a way to sustain it, please go ahead and comment and like and let me know how you're doing that, and we can spread the word. So for weapons, if you have them, Maelstrom Inferno Staff. Oh my god, gotta get that, so good. If you are a Magic Nightblade, once again, Maelstrom Inferno Staff. Magic Sork, same way. And if you are a Magic Templar, dual Tuarg's Pack Swords with a back bar Maelstrom Inferno Staff. That's the way you want to do that. So let's get it in for stand builds. And for stand builds, I'm going to pop over to my stand character real quick, so I'll show you how you set up my builds. 1 second, guys. Boom, let's do it. Pop over to my Stam Nightblade. And in a future video, we are going to be going over race and race choices. So don't worry about that so far. That's going to be more of a beginner video. This is more of, you know what you're doing, but you really want to start maximizing everything in your kit. So let's get into this. For a Stam Nightblade, there's really two major setups you can run that are super effective, okay? Your first setup that is easy to pull off. By the way, I'm going to show you the first two that are the easiest to pull off, and they're going to give you good, very good results. It's going to give you 5 Hundings on the body or 5 Night Mothers on the body. Now, if you have 5 Hundings, you want to run 1, 2, 3, 4 Night Mothers. You can see I have a Kina piece here. I really, really want a new Night Mothers piece to put here, but I simply don't have the Rabito to do it right now. And I really don't play that much on this character other than to do PvP. In a PvP situation, I really prefer the extra weapon damage over having the extra critical strike chance. So that's why I run Kina right here. But for an absolute PvE situation, you either want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hundings or Night Mothers, while the other 4 being 1, 2, 3, 4 Hundings or Night Mothers. Okay? Now for jewelry, like I said, you want to have, I have 1 healthy ring because like I said, I'd like to do PvP and I like to do Maelstrom on this character, so I like to rock the 1 healthy ring. Okay? And you can even, if you're having trouble staying alive as a stamina build, make 2 pieces healthy. I know these are kind of expensive. You don't have to run all robust. I'm just talking about how to show you how to squeeze every ounce of DPS out. Okay? Now in chance, you always want to run max stat. Always max stat. Because like I said, you can always run healthy on these jewelries. It's really, really annoying to have to re-enchant something. So if let's say you're having health problems, you have all stamina or all magicka on here. This is an easy, simple way to do this. Please don't go re-enchant all your gear. Come here, put some points in health, get some health back. Yeah, it's going to decrease your stamina, but guess what? This only costs 3,200 gold when you're V16. 1 Kuta alone is going to cost you 7,000 gold. So, you know, unless you have hundreds of Kutas sitting around, go ahead and mess with your attribute points instead. So back bar for stamina builds, this is a must-have. Absolutely so good. The Maelstrom bow. This is so much extra damage. It's something you really, really want to try and get. If you're having trouble in Maelstrom as a stamina build, let me tell you from first-hand experience, it is doable. I go through Maelstrom with Vigor and dual wield bow, no rally, just Vigor and weapon power pots, and I can get easily 400,000 score. So, you know, it is doable, it's just going to take some time. So, if you're a stamina DK or a stam sork, I highly suggest getting those Maelstrom daggers with precise. And if it's possible, in a really long fight, have 1 Maelstrom axe precise and 1 Maelstrom dagger precise. That overall bleed is going to really add up over time. Alright guys, I think that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, go ahead and post. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll be back with you next time.